Alright guys, I've been over here working on the high tunnel. Ms. Wanda's been doing a lot of canning. I didn't bring a camera with me. I'm just one of these kind of people to just get it done, you know, because we're running a time schedule here. And I've got all the bows put up on top of the high tunnel now. Now this is a 24-foot wide one, and because it's 24 feet wide, each bow comes in 3 different pieces. And I put them together on the ground, and then I lifted them up in the air and I installed them in the tops of the stake pipes that's there. Everything is screwed off with the Tech screws. Now we're ready to start putting in what's called the purlins. Because it's 24 feet wide, it has 3 sets of purlins on it. It has one right down the center, and then equally distanced out, it has 2 more on each side. Now, in order to figure the center of an arch like this, what we've done is we've measured from pipe to pipe at the ground down here, and right in the center I made a mark in the ground down here. This mark represents the center of the building. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plumb bob and I'm going to get up top up yonder, and I'm going to hang it down to where my plumb bob is here, and that will give me my center mark up there for my purlin. We'll be taking a magic marker or a permanent marker, and we'll be marking it. I'll just take my string here. We'll let the plumb bob all the way down to the ground. I'll hang it over it. Take my permanent marker. We'll stop that string from swinging. We'll lift it up until it comes up off the ground. Now we're in the center of our mark on the ground. This is the center of the building. This is how we get the center of our arch. Now that I have the mark on this end of the high tunnel, and I have it on that end of the high tunnel, what I'll do is get up there and take the string, and I'll tie it to the pipe here, and I'll pull it all the way through, and I'll tie it to the pipe down yonder, and then I'll come back and take my magic marker, or my permanent marker, and I'll mark that string on each one of these bows down through there, and that will give me the center of the high tunnel all the way through the middle of it. And then we'll get up, and that gives us our location for our first purlin to be installed and have it down the perfect center of the high tunnel. Okay guys, right here in our very backyard in our cabin, we have a big old hawk's nest and a baby hawk standing up on the edge of the nest there. He's just standing on the edge of the nest I'm talking about. Got his back turned to us. The mama comes in every so often and feeds him. I've been noticing while I'm sitting here working on a project next to the cabin here, I kept hearing him squeaking. I walked over here and looked, and he's actually just standing on the edge of the nest right there. I think there's just one. That's all I've seen. It's just one. I haven't really seen anything else, and there may be more up there. But well, as a matter of fact, there's 2 of them. I see 2 of them. I seen 2 heads move right yonder. But there's 2 of them up there actually. I see them both now. One's on one side of the nest and one on the other side. They're both sitting there facing each other. That's kind of wild to have. And the thing about it is the squirrels were playing in the trees all around them right there. I've been sitting here watching the squirrels is actually right up in the tree with them. Okay guys, we've got a squirrel. I'm gonna get further away from the camera with my finger. Right there in the tree right there playing. And the hawk is right here. There's the hawk right there. The mama comes in. The squirrels don't even run away or nothing. It's kind of crazy. You would think that that they'd be scared to death that hawk was going to catch them. But I've been sitting here during the day while I'm working and watching, and the squirrels actually run around the hawk's nest and down the tree and all. Oh, did you see him jump? I mean, oh, there he goes. They don't pay the hawks any attention. Look at him going down the tree over there. They don't pay them hawks no attention. That's kind of shocking to me. I would have thought that they would have caught them. I watch them as their diet. She brings in lots of different things during the day. Anything from lizards to rats to looks like a little snakes and stuff like that. She's helping them to develop their diet and knowing what to eat and stuff like that. She looks like she got some grasshoppers sometimes when she comes in. It's just amazing to watch them feed while I'm sitting here working. Sitting there looking. They're just sitting there looking and looking. Okay, see him sitting there?
The tree limbs are all in the way. You had to cut a lot of limbs, but I can see him.
Yeah, the leaves right there keep blowing in front of him. Right, my finger gets in the picture. See him sitting there?
Yep.
Perfect.
Look at him turning.
Two of them there, one sitting right behind him.
Mm-hmm. And our baby hawks.
Yep. Here he comes, here he comes. Hold on, right there. Good morning, everybody. It's Danny from Deep South Homestead. We've had tons of questions about the high tunnels. Well, Wanda and I has actually started putting up our third high tunnel here. This one is wider than the ones we originally had. This one's 24 feet wide and 32 feet long. It's the only size we could get on a little place here on our property that's not on a bad hillside. And guys, y'all ask over and over and over about the high tunnel, about the construction of it, what's in the kit, you know, what does this cost, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to be able to give you that information because I'm sure the price changes from place to place. The only thing that comes with the kit is the metal. Anything else you're going to see here today that I'm going to explain to you, that's my design. I went to a hardware store and bought the lumber myself and actually constructed this myself and attached it to the metal frame that comes from Growers Solutions. So I wanted to walk you through it and show you some of the things I do in a high wind area here along the coast of Mississippi because of hurricanes, and show you what we do to maybe help prevent the high tunnels from being damaged by the wind. So come on and let's walk up, and I'm going to start showing you some of the things that I do that's not been recommended. The first thing is here, with these kits comes these 2-hole straps with them. And they're designed to be flattened out on one side and screwed in the end of the band boards that go on. And then another screw goes into this side. Now they send regular drywall screws. I don't use them because I use all treated wood here in the South, and I get deck screws. I get an 1.5 inch deck screw. And what you're supposed to do is put this on and put a Tech screw through the pipe into, through the strap into the pipe. I even come along behind that because we're in a high wind area, and I got to buy 1/4 inch galvanized carriage bolts. And I drill a hole all the way through to the outside the 2x6 band here, and I put them through and put a nut and washer on the inside of them, all galvanized, so that and I do this in every pipe down through here. Every pipe, whether it's at the top, middle, bottom, I put it through all of them. The 1/4 inch, it's a 4-inch bolt, and I leave a thread sticking out here. Now, I could have got a 3.5, but I went with a 4 because I never know in the future what I might do. If I'm gonna run any kind of electrical in here or anything, I can come in here and put a clamp over this with another nut on top of it and hang my electrical in a conduit across here. So that's the reason I'm always trying to think ahead. Now, in my designing, I put a 2x10 down at the bottom here. Now they only require a 2x6, but I put a 2x10 with a strap again and a carriage bolt through it. And I also, they don't require one in the middle. When you get a kit, it doesn't come with all the straps for the middle band. This is something I put in because I'll come back and I'll put a 3-foot wide piece of hardware cloth down through here that insects can't come through. They always have it where only the top band, so you can roll it up. That's why it's called a high sidewall, so you can roll it up. And y'all always wonder how high this is. I can reach 8 foot, so this is 8 foot up here to where this is at in here. Now, when it comes to the bracing part of it, according to the kits, anything over 40 foot requires a steel pipe bracing in it. This is not over 40 feet, so they did not send the steel pipe bracing in the kit. But I come back and I take a 16-foot 2x4 and I drill it through all the boards up here at the top and put a 3/8 carriage bolt through that and bolt it to it. That bolts that whole corner together. And then I come down, and where it crosses this band at, I drill through and put a 3/8 carriage bolt here. And then at the bottom down here, I do the exact same thing. And then I put a 2x4 opposing from the other side down in a V like this to keep them going from either direction. And then when I get to the outside, I put the 2-hole strap out here and I run my screws into this to help hold. Every pipe on it has a point of holding. This way, if the wind gets against the end of this, it's not really, it shouldn't move it in any way. Now, it may tear the plastic up on it or something to that nature, but at this point, I don't think it'll damage it going from end to end. Now, when it comes to the end walls, I don't purchase the end walls with a high tunnel because to me, they're just too flimsy. I don't like them. I have built many a greenhouse in my life for growers and stuff like that. I've designed the end walls for them, and so far we've never lost one that I'm aware of to a wind, and I'll kind of show you a little bit about that next. Okay guys, what I do is I come in here and I pull a string from this corner over here to that corner over there. I find the dead center of it. Now these doors are a little wider than I normally do. I normally put an 8-foot door, but I decided to go with a 10-foot in this one. So I come find the center, I measure back 5 foot here, and I set me a 4x6, a treated 4x6 in the ground. And all the way at the top, I stand it up and plumb it with the scaffolding, and I mark the angle of the top and I cut it off, and I put two 2-hole straps in the top with 2 3-inch deck screws through it, and then a Tech screw in each one of those 2-hole straps into the top pipe up there. Now make sure when you do that you don't put the Tech screw on top of the pipe. Make sure you put it on the side, because if you put it on the top, the plastic goes over the top of it and it would tear a hole in the plastic. Then I come back and I figure out what the height of this inside V-truss here is, and I put me a 4x6 across level with the bottom of that V-truss across the top of it here. And I have 2 big steel plates that's going to go up inside there that's going to actually hold this thing up here too, to help make it structural. And once I get to that point, I will come back and I will run a 2x4 wall. Well, I pour a concrete footing. There's going to be a concrete footing poured from here to here with a piece of rebar drilled through this post all the way out to that outside edge out there. And there'll be a 2x4 wall built on top of that with 1/2-inch treated plywood on the top, probably about this high with this band right here across. I'll do that on each side, and when I get that done, that should structurally help it from side to side to be able to keep the wind from blowing it from side to side. We're going to do that on this end, and we'll do it on that end down yonder, and there we will get our side structure from. Now when you order one of these kits, they only come with every other V-truss in it, and most of them excuse me, doesn't even come with the V-trusses. They come with a cable assembly on a 24-foot wide. I requested the V-trusses rather than the cable assembly because we are in a hurricane zone here, and I feel like that the V-truss assembly on every bow through here, not every other one, but every bow, I had to pay extra for that, but I felt like that it would be more structurally sound in a high wind area to go that route. Now when I'm finished, what I will do is come back, and there will be another 2x4 up here at the top of this, running from there to this post, and then we will tie onto that 2x4, and we will run 2x4s all the way down through the top of this on each side, and put the 2-hole straps over the top of it and clamp it to that V-truss up there, and that will keep the bows at the top. It makes everything more structural in here. And plus, if we ever want to run lights or anything to that nature, we can come in here, and we got a place through here to run our electricity and put our lights and hang them on each side of the high tunnel, so that we'll have ample light supply in the high tunnel. So guys, I hope that this portion of putting up a high tunnel has been a little more self-explanatory maybe than the ones we did in the past. Not being able to show, maybe we just didn't do a good job of showing the up-close details of like drilling the holes for the bolts right here, the 2-hole straps, and explaining that. So I'm trying to do a little better job this time of explaining how this thing actually goes together. And guys, don't let this freak you out. I've put this thing up right by myself, and I probably don't have 4 days. If I had full days, and I don't work full days because I'm older, I work 3 or 4 hours a day on it. I've probably got 4 full days, and what you see right here, from the ground to the finished product right here, it's really not that hard. Once you figure out how to do it, it's not hard at all. The hardest part to me, literally, is driving the ground stakes. If you've got something that'll electric or a gas-powered stake driver, that's great. I drove them with a sledgehammer. It took me maybe an hour at the most to drive all of these pipes in the ground 3 feet with a sledgehammer. Now I know my soil may be different, but we got gravel and rocks here, and when they hit them rocks, they want to stop a little bit, but you keep hammering on it, It'll go on through it. Guys, don't let it freak you out. It can be done with 2 people, probably in a, I would say complete to finish, probably in a week. But now one thing that I will say, I do have scaffolding set up over here. I use scaffolding from my construction company. I've got the big tall ladders I can get in here with, all that kind of stuff. It really helps out to have those types of things here. One of the main things that helped me out a lot was having my front end loader on my tractor with the pallet forks with a pallet on it to lift me up high enough in the air that I could drive these pipes in the ground. That was probably the easiest part of it, is just lifting me up and down on that and making it so much easier. But guys, if you're interested in these high tunnels, which I strongly suggest people to have, go check out Grower Solutions. That's where we get ours from. We have a deal set up with Grower Solutions. We don't make anything on it, but anybody who uses the code Deep South, you get a 10% discount. That's the deal we made with Grower Solutions for promoting them, is so that our subscribers could get a 10% discount when they purchased a high tunnel or irrigation stuff or whatever it is that you want, trees, the row cover, ground cover stuff, row cover stuff, anything like that you purchase from Grower Solutions. If you use the code Deep South, it's a one-time deal, so when you get it, get all you want to get at that time and get a 10% discount. I think that it's already been a blessing to so many people. They've already sent us messages talking about, thank you so much for the 10% discount, because there's no way we could have afforded this without it. So guys, I do hope and pray that this will help y'all to be able to be a little bit more sustainable in the future and being able to grow your own food. So thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.